First and foremost, what is Bretton Woods system? Well, the Bretton Woods system is an international monetary framework established in 1944 during the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference held in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, USA. But first, what is monetary framework? Monetary framework is a set of structures and practices that guide a monetary authority in implementing a monetary policy. So basically, this maintains economic stability, control inflation, and ensure a smooth flow of money in the economy. For example, if inflation rises too quickly, the central bank might increase interest rates. This disencourages borrowing and spending, slowing the economy and helping to reduce the inflation. In simple terms, a monetary framework is the blueprint that guides a country's management to its currency and the economy and to its economy, ensuring the stability and growth of that country. The Bretton Woods system is an example of monetary framework because it established the structures and practices that used in the global monetary system after World War II. It provided a set of rules and mechanisms to guide how countries control their currencies, exchange rates, and international trade, making it one of the most significant monetary framework in history. The Bretton Woods system was established by 44 countries, namely United States, United Kingdom, France, China, Canada, Australia, India, Belgium, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Greece, Guatemala, Honduras, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Poland, South Africa, Soviet Union, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, Uruguay, Venezuela, Yugoslavia, Argentina, Austria, Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria. These countries were primarily allied nations which had won World War II, and they aimed to create a new international economic to promote global stability and economic recovery. So, these countries came together to establish the framework for post-war global economic cooperation, including what we have discussed last time, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The US dollar was the anchor currency for the system. It means that the country's currencies were fixed to the value of the US dollar, while the US dollar itself was convertible to gold. 1 ounce of gold is equal to 35 US dollars. This system created a connection between gold and the US dollar, with the dollar being the main global currency used in trade and in finances. Gold played a key role in the Bretton Woods system by acting as the anchor for the US dollar. The US dollar was directly linked to gold, meaning US had to hold enough gold reserves to back the amount of dollars in circulation. And gold was seen as a stable, universally accepted asset that could protect against inflation and currency devaluation. The link between gold and the US dollar created trust in the global financial system, as countries knew that the US dollar was backed by a solid asset, which is gold. Countries' currencies were pegged to the US dollar, and these dollars were convertible into gold, creating fixed exchange rates across the world. How does currency exchange works? Well, first, currency exchange is the process of converting one country's currency into another. This is important in international trade, travel, investment, and financial transactions. Well, to be able to know that, let us know exchange rates first. What is exchange rates? Exchange rates is the value of one currency in relation to another. It tells you how much will you get if you exchange that one currency into another currency. For example, if the exchange rate of 1 US dollar is equals to 58.60 pesos, then each time you exchange that 1 US dollar, you will get 58.60 pesos. Then, if you exchange 100 US dollar in Philippine peso, you will get 5,860 pesos. That is how currency exchange works. Under the Bretton Woods system, countries could borrow from each other through the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. For example, if Philippines face an economic crisis such as balance of payment problems or an economic downturn, Philippines could borrow from International Monetary Fund to stabilize its economy. Suppose the Philippines economy is facing an crisis in which the country's imports exceeds its exports, leading to a foreign exchange reserves. The Philippines will also be facing high inflation, currency depreciation, or an increase in foreign debt. Then the Philippine government would request an assistance from the International Monetary Fund. Then the IMF would evaluate the country's economic situation and determine if a loan is necessary to restore economic stability. If the International Monetary Fund agrees to help, it would send financial assistance typically in a form of US dollars. If the IMF agrees to lend the Philippines $1 billion to help stabilize its economy, the Philippines would receive the funds. To receive the loan, the Philippines has to agree to certain conditions, often known as conditionality. These conditions would be aimed at solving the economic problems and is designed to restore the economic stability and ensure that the Philippines would have to repay the loan in the future. Once the Philippine economy stabilizes, it would begin repaying the IMF loan into the agreed upon schedule. This could take several years depending on the terms of the loan. What are the institutions that was established under the Bretton Woods system? Well, the institutions that was established under the Bretton Woods system was the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. To be able to know about these two, we are going to revisit the video I made last time. So these vids have provided a lot of information about these institutions. Let us watch it. The first organization that I am going to tackle is World Bank. What is World Bank nga ba? World Bank is the international financial institution established in 1944 to provide financial and technical assistance to developing countries for development projects and economic growth. So World Bank provide countries with money to support them to support those countries to reduce and to provide them with financial assistance. So what are World Bank objectives? World Bank objectives are to reduce poverty, for economic development, and global partnerships. It means they are providing poor or in-need countries with financial and technical support that will help the country to overcome poverty. World Bank collaborates with governments, sectors, and other institutions to achieve development goals to achieve to achieve developmental goals. So, to achieve unity, collaboration is a must. That is why 189 countries are members or part of World Bank. And the non-member countries are Andorra, Cuba, Liechtenstein, Monaco, and North Korea. So who operates or who is the president of World Bank? The president of World Bank is Ajay Banga. Ajay Banga is the 14th president of the World Bank Group. His reign started on June 2, 2023. This World Bank provide poor countries with financial and technical support or assistance. So now we are going to tackle IMF or International Monetary Fund. So what is IMF? IMF or International Monetary Fund is an organization that promotes global economic growth and financial stability, encourages international trade, and reduces poverty. It was founded in 1945. So IMF provides short-term assistance to countries facing balance of payment problems. So if one country is struggling with financial or having a financial crisis, IMF is the one who will help that country to have financial stability and improve the quality of the country. IMF facilitates and initiate collaboration among countries to address global economic challenges. Global economic challenges like healthcare and more. IMF provides technical assistance and training services to help countries strengthen their economic and financial systems. So not only IMF let other country borrows money, but it also provide training services to those country to strengthen their financial stability or financial systems. So as you've noticed, IMF and World Bank are quite the same. However, they have distinct differences. International Monetary Fund is focusing more on global financial stability, and it let it lets country borrow monies or financial on a short term. So it means in that short term year or International Monetary Fund focus more on global financial stability. It lets countries borrow financial assistance on a short term only, while World Bank is a long-term development and it helps in reducing poverty. So if IMF only let countries borrow financials in a short term, World Bank allows countries to World Bank allows countries to pay the loan in a long-term system. World Bank also help countries develop infrastructures, healthcares, and education. It means World Bank improve the living standard of that country. International Monetary Fund's head is Kristalina Georgievna. International Monetary Fund has 191 countries under it. The non-member countries are Cuba, North Korea, Monaco, Taiwan, Vatican City, and East Timor, Liechtenstein. So what are the objectives of IMF? It is to achieve sustainable growth and prosperity for all of its member countries. So IMF helped those countries develop their economics and financial stability. As what I've said a while ago, it provides training system for them to strengthen their financial system. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are the two primarily institutions that was established under the Bretton Woods system. These two are continuously playing their critical roles in global monetary system or cooperation, economic development, and crisis response. However, the Bretton Woods system is no longer functioning in its original form. It was effectively replaced in the early 1970s due to insignificant structural challenges. The US dollars was the system's foundations, convertible to gold at fixed rate. By the late 1960s, the US faced high inflation, trade deficits, and growing debt, making it impossible to maintain the dollar linked to gold. Thus, in 1971, the U.S. President Richard Nixon ended the dollar's convertibility to gold, effectively breaking the system or breaking the Bretton Woods system. By the year 1973, countries stopped pegging their currencies to the dollar. Instead, currencies began to float, which means their value was determined by supply and demand in global markets. The Bretton Woods system ended because it can no longer adapt to global economic changes. Though through its legacy continues through flexible exchange rates and institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, which still promotes the global financial cooperation and stability. Why was the Bretton Woods system even created? Well, the Bretton Woods system was established because the world needed a fair and stable system for international trade and payments. Without structured frameworks, countries might resort to chaotic and unequal exchange where stronger countries might end up exploiting weaker ones. This system ensured that the currencies had predictable values, fostering trust and cooperation in global trades. Now let us differentiate the Bretton Woods system and the BRICS. To be able to do that, let us know what is BRICS first. Well, BRICS is a group of 5 countries, mainly Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries formed a partnership to work together on global economic issues. They are some of the world's largest and fastest growing economies. So why was BRICS created? BRICS was created to challenge Western dominance. Global financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are often led by Western countries like the US. BRICS wants to balance this by giving more power to emerging economies. Also, this is to reduce reliance on the US dollar. Well, the US dollar is the most widely used and dominant currency in the world and the global trade and in the finances. Thus, BRICS wants to explore alternatives like creating their own currency and abolishing the US dollar as the world currency. The Bretton Woods system and the BRICS are two efforts to organize and to improve global economics, but they are different in purpose and in focus. The Bretton Woods system started in 1944 after the World War II to rebuild the world economies after the war and to create a stable world economies for countries to trade with each others. Countries' currencies were tied to US dollars and the US dollar were tied to gold. On the other hand, the BRICS was created in 2009 for fast-growing countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and also to reduce reliance on Western countries and their financial systems. These countries work together to invest in development projects, trade, and to create their own financial systems. The Bretton Woods system helped rebuild the world and made global trade easier, but it gave too much power to Western countries. BRICS wants to balance this by giving more influence to fast-growing countries and reducing reliance on US dollar.